Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us on the WHAS11 Night Team. I'm Doug Proffitt. The exclusive interview right here tonight. We're hearing from the woman whose newly purchased electric vehicle suddenly stalled on the 2nd Street Bridge Friday afternoon, moments before a multi-car collision sent that Cisco semi-truck right over the edge. She told our Brooke Hash and photojournalist Jessica Farley she was planning to take that electric car back to the dealer when this happened.
Emotionally, I'm not well. Physically, I'm fine.
That's Louisville resident Glenna Hess.
You see this, and you realize how many people could have died as a result of this faulty car.
She says it was her first time behind the wheel of her new electric car, bought just the day before. Having owned them for the past decade, she knew something wasn't right when the electrical system started acting erratically.
As I was coming back from Jeffersonville, it said I had a 24-mile range, which is fine. I just want to get across the bridge, and then I can call AAA and have them take the car to Carvana because I was going to take it back. We noticed something was wrong with it.
And then
the motor just came to a dead stop on the 2nd Street Bridge. So I pulled over as far as I could, put the blinkers on, called AAA. They were calling the police. Everything was fine. Cars were passing me. They saw that my blinkers were on until, of course, somebody didn't.
Hess said everything happened so fast.
I saw a blue pickup truck with a badly injured person in front of me, and I look behind, and then I see the semi. And you see this woman, and you're thinking, it's a wonder she's not dead.
Hess said a man came to her window to check on her before running toward the pickup.
You know, in the scope of everything happening, you're in shock. Some sweet lady, I had no idea who she was. She just came out and checked on me, and an officer said, "Do you have a warm car she can get in?" And she said, "Yes." And so this angel said, "You know, you can come in my car."
Together, they watched as a Louisville firefighter pulled that semi-driver from the cab of the truck, dangling 100 feet over the Ohio River.
I can't imagine the trauma that she's feeling. She's a hero, how she maneuvered the whole situation.
Hess said the direction the semi-driver took to avoid more collisions likely saved lives, giving credit to everyone on the bridge for saving hers.
Every first responder involved, they did their job so well.
In Louisville, with photojournalist Jessica Farley, Brooke Hash for the WHAS 11 Night Team.
Now, we followed Hess and her husband over to Carvana right off Firstborn Parkway today to get a comment regarding their concerns about that electric car. The staff at Carvana referred us to their corporate headquarters, which then referred us back to the local dealer, but did say they will not take the car back now that it's been damaged. At least one person was critically hurt in that crash and remains in the hospital at our last check. We will continue to keep you updated on their recovery.
What's so proudly we hailed.
Now you're looking at the big honor tonight by the Kentucky Wildcats for Bryce Carden. The Louisville firefighter lowered over that bridge to rescue the stranded Cisco driver 100 feet above the river. He was honored before the national anthem at Rupp Arena for tonight's 9 o'clock game against Vanderbilt. Our Mason Horodisky also caught up with him.
Oh, this is huge. I grew up a Cats fan since I was a little boy. My parents met at the University of Kentucky. It's huge. It's a great feeling to be here and just go Cats.
UK gave Bryce and his wife Caitlin 2 tickets to sit right behind Coach John Calipari. Bryce, by the way, did not go to UK. Instead, he played college baseball for the University of Pikeville in eastern Kentucky. Meantime, with the major spotlight still shining on the Louisville Fire Department, Carden's wife and others are now using this time to try and shed light on their current contract for the firefighters, holding a rally in downtown Louisville today. Firefighters have been working about 9 months past an expired contract with the city of Louisville. President of the local International Association of Firefighters, Jeff Taylor, says their members want negotiations settled.
Firefighter that really understands and gets the profession would do it for free if they could, because they love what they do. The fact of the matter is they've got to be paid because they've got families, they've got children, they've got needs, they've got to be paid.
The union says their main focus is fair pay, but they also hope to get more funding for equipment. Some equipment, they say, is 15 years old. $100,000 for training was added to the fire department's funding from the mayor's last budget. Taylor says they hope to increase that. All new on the night team tonight, we are back in Bardstown, where teachers and students are not happy with the Nelson County Board of Education's decision to remove their superintendent. You saw that story this week as a Crowd tonight rallied in the center of downtown Bardstown to share their support for Superintendent Wes Bradley. WHAS 1119's Alex Dederer and photojournalist Addie Hill report on what teachers are saying about the board's decision.
Teachers, students, and families lined up along the old courthouse in downtown Bardstown in protest to the Nelson County Board of Education's 4-1 vote to remove Superintendent Wes Bradley from his position.
We support Wes Bradley. We support.
Caitlin Jaggers is a kindergarten teacher at Foster Heights Elementary. She says she drives almost an hour to work every day.
And the commute is not the best, but I just love the leadership and I love our vision for students and how we always put students first. And a lot of that leadership stems from Wes Bradley. So he's definitely one of the reasons that I make this drive every day.
Principal of Thomas Nelson High School, Kurt Merrifield, says he was at the protest on behalf of all the county principals. Right after the board's vote Monday, all 11 principals released a joint statement backing the superintendent.
We felt it was important for the community to know our stance and to also know that we are still a united front.
Based on state data, Nelson County Schools is about a year's worth of learning behind bordering counties, which is one of the reasons listed by board chair Amanda Deaton that called for Bradley's removal. Merrifield, on the other hand, says he's seen growth across the district.
We know that education is changing. The needs of students in the 21st century is changing as well. The skills that they need to be successful in life. Sometimes when you have a progressive vision towards the future, you're going to meet resistance with the status quo. He's never been bashful about that.
While the crowds of people here at the old courthouse cleared out within about an hour, they tell me that their fight is far from over.
I would love to go to the state and do more protesting, but we'll see.
The request for Bradley's removal will now need to be approved by the Kentucky Department of Education to move forward. In Bardstown, Alex Dederer of the WHAS 11 team on your side.
Now, if Bradley's removal is approved by the Department of Education, the Nelson County Board of Education would then appoint an interim school superintendent. Several high-profile shootings at late-night bars now have city leaders questioning policies surrounding the sale of alcohol in Louisville and how late it's sold. The latest shooting happened this past week. A man discovered fatally shot inside the Cafe 360 on Bardstown Road just before 3:30 a.m. Sunday morning. New tonight on the night team, city leaders have been tossing around the idea for months about limiting when businesses can sell alcohol. Now a new ordinance could suspend a business's liquor license after violent incidents at late-night bars. WHAS 1119's Connor Steffen says it's moving toward a major vote tomorrow.
As hundreds of headlights meet the glow of a mostly empty Bardstown Road storefront.
This is fresh on everybody's mind.
These signs to the left and right may soon go dark, with Cafe 360's liquor license up in the air.
Evil is hard to stop, but alcohol and weapons don't play nice together.
Early Sunday morning, the nightlife scene abruptly turned into a crime scene when someone shot and killed 21-year-old Theodore Brown.
Our employees don't feel safe. Our patrons don't feel safe.
In the aftermath, city officials are looking to create a new tool for a small department tasked with overseeing alcohol sales across the metro.
But what are things that we can do on the local level? And this was one of them.
The result, a proposed ordinance passed out of a Metro Council committee meeting Wednesday. The proposal would allow Louisville ABC to issue immediate emergency license suspensions in cases where there's a threat to public safety, health, or welfare across the county. Current law gives that authority to the Kentucky ABC only.
Those behind the ordinance say that the incident at Cafe 360 isn't what spurred it, but perfectly exemplifies the ongoing issues facing the city it aims to address.
So that occurred on Saturday. You're having on Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever, we're still deciding whether it's an emergency.
District 12 Metro Councilman Rick Blackwell says the ordinance talks have been going on for months and included input from local business owners worried it could be used unfairly.
To make sure that this language was both fair to bar and restaurant owners, but also took into consideration the issue, which is violence.
An amended version of the ordinance includes current state language, creating a set of conditions that would allow Louisville ABC to immediately shut down a business. They include situations involving firearm use and violations that led to a death.
They collaborated and all of us unusually agreed where, there's not very many times in my experience where government and industry can come together. And
Metro Council is set to vote on the ordinance Thursday during its regularly scheduled public meeting. In Louisville, Connor Steffen, the WHAS 1119, on your side.
Right here tonight, it's the first legislative session of Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear's second term, and already tension between the governor and the legislature are showing a day after Beshear vetoed legislation that would allow landlords not to accept federal housing vouchers. The House and the Senate have already overridden this. Now, the bill blocks local ordinances prohibiting landlords from discriminating against renters who rely on federal housing assistance, including Section 8 vouchers. Such bans on source of income discrimination in housing were already approved in Louisville and Lexington. Supporters have previously said the bill is not discriminatory and gives rights right back to the landlords. However, opposition that spoke today said the bill pulls control from cities.
But I find it ironic in this body that we often speak about local control, and here we are wresting local control away from the city of Louisville, which I represent, which had passed this ordinance 25-0 just 4 years ago.
It was Beshear's first veto of this year's legislative session, but more are expected amid policy clashes between the Democratic governor and the legislature's GOP supermajorities. The governor saw his vetoes routinely overridden during his first term.